down with help from Australian Gold. From insect repellent, sunscreen to skincare, Australian Gold has you covered. Save big on all Australian Gold products now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Northbound 43, backing up from North Avenue all the way up towards Keefe. Southbound so far so good, nice and quiet. Southbound 41, though, we got backups from Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Northbound is slowing down right through the North Avenue curve area, and then back on the brakes from Capitol Drive up towards Hampton. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 56 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We could swear when we were at St. Norberg's, they put saltpeter in our food, and we ran with it. Everyone thought they did.
Yeah, see, I knew that was going to be...
Just one little problem.
Sexual?
Yeah, I've never really felt confident in one particular aspect.
Below the equator?
Yeah.
But we can't just leave everyone hanging.
Oh, everyone has computers.
I mean, walking around with one in your pocket, correct. But just...
Saltpeter doesn't give you the ability to get a Woodrow Wilson.
Nobody does. Nobody knows what to do. You just close your eyes, you hope for the best. I really think they're happy if you just make an effort.
So put everything together and you can figure it out. Am I right?
I mean, you just put everything together for everybody.
Yes. But I coded it very well.
You did code it very well. I got it a little nervous, not going to lie.
Who's Peter?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth, she wants to ride it.
A lot of kiddos out of school today. A lot of kiddos got a
4-day weekend.
That's right, the old 4-day weekend. Man, when you were a kid, was there anything better than a 4-day weekend? I mean, besides summer vacation and like spring break, Christmas break, but like...
I don't think we ever had 4-day weekends.
Come on.
Yeah, there's one thing better. Snow day on a Friday, having Monday off.
Oh, so the unexpected,
the
unexpected 4-day weekend.
Oh, that's the best.
What about the snow day on the Monday? You're saying because you don't typically have a Friday off, like a holiday, like a national holiday, like a President's Day or something like that. Obviously, Memorial Day on Monday. Remember, it's Memorial Day when you are exchanging greetings with folks. It's Memorial Day. You know, that's a new thing in the last decade or so. So 4-day weekend, lots of kiddos are out of school, and it sounds like people take advantage of a 4-day weekend. It sounds like, Joshy, you've got some pals who are trying to take advantage of the fact that a lot of people don't have to work on Monday, and therefore, if you're going to have a big old party, if you're going to have a shindig, you're going to throw a gala of sorts, this is the weekend to do it, huh?
Yeah, we've got a wedding to attend this Saturday. Is right here in the city. It is many of our friend group. It is sort of one of the central figures. Therefore, everybody we usually spend time with will be at said wedding.
Pause. How does one become a central figure of the friend group?
Well, they're sisters, so they're together often. They're often in the middle of whatever we've got going on. I would consider like myself and Mussolini also one of those. So had we be getting married, there would be all these people would be there because this is sort of the group, the 10 to 12 usual people who are at most events.
I'm not a central figure. I am just realizing this. I am a peripheral,
ancillary,
non-central figure.
We are. We entertain.
Yes.
10 to 1, I would say, at our house. Maybe even more than that.
I'm glad you mentioned entertaining.
Why?
Because part of this wedding, there is a welcome party because people are coming out of town, obviously, tonight. So that is going to take up the entirety of my night. Tomorrow, the wedding starts at 4:30.
Wait, what? Friday wedding or Saturday wedding?
Tomorrow, Saturday.
Saturday wedding. Got it.
So the wedding starts tomorrow at 4:30. Do you have any guesses at what time people will be arriving at my house prior to the wedding?
4:30. I mean, is your house close to the wedding venue?
Not particularly, but within 10 minutes.
Okay. So, because I know that an old apartment that you had.
Yep.
When I got married was a central. It was close enough to where the venue that I got married. Yes, that a lot of people showed up at your place to pregame before my wedding, which made sense.
Yep.
I don't know. So 4:30 wedding. 2?
No.
Wrong.
Because detective work, as we sleuth this case out, you mentioned that Mussolini, not my name, your name, for her.
Yep.
That's just her name.
Does makeup.
And hair.
Yeah, the hair part's the important part.
So people will be coming over early to have their hair and their makeup done for said wedding.
Jen, you're dead on.
And that means hours and hours and hours. How many people? Give me a rough number of people that are getting.
3 people.
I would dedicate an hour to each person. So we're backing up. 10 o'clock?
10 a.m., Jen. So on Saturday from 10 a.m. to the end of the wedding, and then whatever we do after, I'm going to be with this group of people. And then to add to it, on Sunday, there is a little bar crawl planned, a little impromptu, hey, everybody, we had a good time at the wedding, let's all go out. And I contend, this is way too much time to be spending even with your best of friends.
Maybe at home, but not on the road.
Yeah, because if you go on a vacation.
Right,
like we love going to Key West. We go on a Friday, leave on a Sunday. Perfect. Don't call me or anything till Thursday.
I don't want to talk to you again.
But if it's in your own house, it's like, all right, you need to leave. Because I would assume, Josh, you need to be showered and ready to go by 10 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah. Now, let me get this clear.
Wait. You've got to be like in your nice clothes for that long?
No, I won't be. I'll probably be like showered, but I won't get dressed until probably within like 30 minutes. You don't want your suit to get wrinkly in the clothes you're wearing.
No. I totally agree.
But it's still, you're entertaining, you're helping, you're getting stuff. You are in conversations with people the entire time.
You're on.
Yes.
That's what we call it. When you have to, when you go to an event and you can't just be yourself. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you're a version of yourself, but you're making small talk, you're interested, you're remembering details. It is mentally exhausting.
Are all these people your peeps? Are there some peripheral?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, there'll be peripherals probably like at the event tonight, but at the house and like the main people are all people I want to be clear I enjoy and I like spending time with. It's not like there's people I'm like, I'd rather not be with them. These are all friends of mine who on a usual weekend I am very happy to see. I just think 3 consecutive days, many of them spent upwards of 8 hours on Sunday, way more than 12 on Saturday, and then tonight as well. I think that's too much.
Because
I
have rules with friends, with people that we know, with the circles. And there are certain people I tell Ange, I'm like, nope, it's got to be at least one other couple with us if we're going. Can't do a one-on-one.
Wait, like a buffer? Like a buffer friend?
And then there's some people that need 2.
2 buffers.
Yes.
So if you are making me hang out with this couple, I need 4 other people.
Yes. 4.
Okay, is that because their personality is draining, exhausting? You don't have anything in common? What's the explanation for the 1 buffer or 2 buffers?
Well, I'm trying to say this.
I know you are.
nicely, and I just can't do it.
Okay.
The one guy's a knob. Sorry, just a knob. And then the other guy just gets way too high, and you can't even communicate with him.
Are we talking
on
gummy
life?
high?
On life?
Yeah.
I mean, he lives in Florida. There's different rules down there,
these
Josh.
guys, I hope he's not listening. The worst possible dinner you could go to with this couple. The worst. What would be the worst setup? And it was the worst. It was terrible.
The worst setup. Are we talking like table arrangement?
Yes.
Or
Yep.
Table
so think
arrangement.
about it.
You know?
He spilled the beans earlier.
Think of the worst. Think of the worst.
He got fired up before the show. Was complaining already.
I don't know. Tell me.
Hibachi.
Oh.
I
Get
was
stuck
on
in
the
the
very
corner.
end, and he was right there, and I'm like,
You got nobody else.
Yeah. You're
nobody
stuck.
else.
You're on an island.
stuck. I'm like, oh my god.
You're on Knob Island.
So now there's a caveat to the rule. Okay, one other couple and no hibachi.
So there was an
That's the
hibachi
rule.
amendment
Yeah.
that was written in this contract.
Yes.
I do think that there is something to what Joshie is saying about how many hours is too many hours to spend with a group of people. And again, I want to be clear. I love my friends as much as the next person, and I want to be around them and stuff. But I still even need those moments away, right? We went on vacation for spring break, 25 of us in a house, which was great, all my family members. But everybody needed a few moments to just like decompress, if you will, right? We got kids running around. It was fun, the pool and all that stuff. But everybody was allowed a few moments to just get away, go do something on your own. That to me is what it sounds like Joshie needs this week. He needs like a few reprieves, if you will, from the crowd. So 30 hours seems like a lot. What's your max? What's your max, Gabe? Bunch of people hanging out.
Well, so that's the thing. Like, I think Chewy's right, because I think of this year when I went down to Florida and I played 36 holes a day for 3 straight days with the same 3 guys. Like, 2 of us were staying together, the other 2 were staying together, but we were just around each other. You know, we had lunch at the golf course we were at, had dinner at the golf course we were playing at, hung out, had drinks at one of our places, just sitting out back because there's nice weather, after that. But home versus road is completely different.
Yeah, I agree. And there's days that are off limit. And I love my Florida people. I love you. I don't want to go out on a Monday, a Tuesday. The problem down there is it's like you're on vacation. They will go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, take Friday off, go Saturday. And I'm like, I can't do
Friday
it.
off?
I'm like, I can't do it.
It's a lot.
I mean, are you making dinner plans on a Monday? No.
Typically not, no.
Not till
There's
Thursday.
a lot of restaurants that are closed
Not
on
till
Mondays.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the only days I will go out for dinner. Although, no. Leave me alone.
It's a weird rule. I mean, we go out whenever we want to. Like,
I know, but without
full autonomy.
What follows going out? A bottle of wine.
No.
Not always.
I mean,
for the table, not.
A couple of things. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, Chewy just winked at Gabe. And you also
secret safe with me.
You also may see my little daughter, my 5-year-old, bopping back and forth behind me here on the
I
on
saw
the
a
old.
flash of sequence behind you. I thought, what the heck?
People are going to be watching things at 3 Men and a Baby where a ghost is popping through the window.
No school. My 5-year-old's here. She's got her iPad. We'll get her. She's eating her breakfast. We'll get her all situated as the show goes on.
Josh, you need the reprieve, bud. I tell
you
you,
know-
just skip out on the wedding, come over, have some brisket on Saturday.
I don't know.
You've already sworn in front of her today.
No, I didn't. Did I curse?
You said the S word.
On the radio?
No. Right over there.
I did?
Yes.
Well, first of all, nothing new. Okay.
I think those ears have heard that.
Yeah.
Right after she said no potty mouth.
I did?
Yeah, you said, have Kara's there, no potty mouth today. And you're like, shh. I'm like, okay.
Wait, you said no potty mouth. I made no such rule, okay? I know myself. 30 hours seems like a lot. What do you think your maximum is? Let us know, 800-990-3776. And Gabe, I think you make a good point, right? There's different groups, but this feels like it's going to be big. And it feels like it'll probably balloon as the week goes on because of just the dynamics of a wedding, right? Like you get Klingons, you get the hanger-oners, right? You got your group, and then all of a sudden somebody is like, those people seem fun. I want to be with them. And all of a sudden your group just keeps growing.
Honestly, the going out after the wedding with the same people, after they've been at your house since 10 a.m., that's the part where it's like, poof.
Yeah.
But that's where it should end. It shouldn't roll into Sunday. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I agree.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, right? Because now it's like, okay, especially if some people are from out of town, don't know when you're going to see them, okay, I can go out after this wedding. But then to go on a bar crawl with the same people on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the other thing is, what do you talk about?
I don't know. I mean, Gabe's hung out with me many, many times. I'm not the biggest, like, unless it's late and I've had a bunch of cold ones. But I pretty much keep to myself. That's generally how. And I end up with people talking to me a lot, and I feel like obligated to speak more despite having nothing more to say. Like one of those situations where you're just kind of... You're going into the depths of like, what could I possibly talk about?
You're not a hold court kind of guy?
Not typically.
Really?
No, he will. Again, you saw him with the Blammer. He'll put quarters into people who are holding court.
Yeah.
Like he will build that person up. And if Joshy's entertained, he wants to keep that going.
Well, every group needs a guy like that then.
Yeah, so he's like, he's the one egging on the guy holding court. But Joshy won't hold court very often.
I'm not sure anyone in this room is a hold court guy.
Yeah, I hold court.
You do hold court.
After that bottle of wine for the table?
Yeah.
Well, wink, wink. That surprises me because of all of us, you like people the least.
That's
he's
true,
got the best
but
stories.
I love making fun of them. It's so much fun.
Wait, so it becomes a roast?
Oh, yeah.
I do that typically,
I
too.
crush people.
Yeah.
I like getting laughs, you know? And I'm very observant. Very observant.
I thought you were going to say, and I'm very good at it. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Frankie weighing in saying, look, I know I don't have best friends out here in Wisconsin, but even if I did, I can't fathom not wanting to hang out with my best friends for days. That's why they're my best friends. Care to clarify, Joshy?
Now, this might be a thing that pertains to only me. There isn't a single person on earth I want to spend that much time with.
That's what I would argue that as well.
Yeah.
Like 30 hours straight with anyone.
See, and well, let's be clear here. I'm on the side I just stated. The majority of the people that I'm going to be spending time with are the exact opposite, or much like Frankie, I believe his name was, where there is not, one of the things I say the most with this group is, when is enough enough? Because I'll be like, we've been out for 10 hours. I got nothing left. I got nothing to say. This is it. We've done it. We did it.
Tank is empty. Right. Tapped out. I've had all my witty lines. I've done all my things. I've filled you in. You've filled me in. What more is there to talk about?
That's exactly how I feel.
Because then
need new audience for those jokes.
You run the risk of diving into those forbidden conversation topics, right?
I don't
you spend
go
too much time with people. You start talking politics. You start talking religion. You start talking all those types of things, and then things can get dicey.
Yeah, I don't care about your work. I'm sorry.
Really?
I don't care about the people at your work.
I got the most interesting friend. I got one guy that lies about being in the CIA, even though I busted him for being in the CIA. I got another guy who doesn't drink because he's got one lung and one kidney, who's very interesting to hang out with.
Isn't it the liver that really is affected by the alcohol?
Well, he doesn't drink. He just does.
Where do you live in Florida? The island of misfit toys?
Yeah, kind of feels like it.
He's just collecting them. He meets them. If they fulfill a requirement for him, he's like, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
We got to get to Jason Wilde. He's coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. A lot of stuff to get to this morning. We'll talk to Jason. We'll talk to Craig Karmazin. And, of course, we've got Rechew coming up in the second hour of the show. Stick around.
The next best round of golf for you? Well, it should be happening at the Wisconsin Country Club. Do what I did. Become a member out at the Wisconsin Country Club. A couple of great things. No assessments, no food and beverage minimums, and a beautiful course that's fun and challenging. I love playing it. I can't wait to get out this afternoon. Going to play it a bunch. Be out there a bunch with the holiday weekend. Tree-lined fairways, greatly groomed greens, and a top 100 teaching pro. Plus, Our pool's opening this weekend, and the pool always has Sunday fun days each and every week. Get started today. Visit thewisconsincountryclub.com for membership info. The Wisconsin Country Club, just a fairway away.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43, backing up from North Avenue all the way up towards Keefe. Southbound so far so good, nice and quiet. Southbound 41, though, we got backups from Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Northbound is slowing down right through the North Avenue curve area, and then back on the brakes from Capitol Drive up towards Hampton. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 56 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's talk about Home Turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Wade vs. Diener is about planting seeds of opportunity and watching them grow into something amazing. Join NBA and Marquette stars Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener and be part of this incredible journey at the Champions for Literacy celebration on June 27th. Or register your son or daughter for the Elite Youth Basketball Camp coached by Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener themselves on June 28th. Register at wadevsdiener.givesmart.com. That's wadevsdiener.givesmart.com.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We love checking in with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, friends.
How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
We're good. Josh has got a wedding this weekend. He said he's going to spend about 30 hours with the same people. Think you could do it, Jason? 30 hours, same people, your pals?
Don't you think the real question is whether those people can do it with Josh?
It's a fair question, Jason. It's a fair question. I wouldn't want to hang out with me for that much. Like that
No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to turn it around. I don't know. I think people would say that I don't spend nearly enough time with my friends. So maybe I should take some shifts for you to lessen the load so you can appreciate the time that you do spend with them And then they could be like, boy, this guy's not nearly as fun as Josh is. We want Josh back. So let me know if you need some help.
Oh, nice
Jason,
relief pitcher.
Jason, are you a hold court kind of guy? I mean, I would think people would come up to you, maybe peripheral friends, and say, hey, give me a real good story from the last 25 years.
I've held court from time to time. Again, there aren't many criticisms that Tausch levies in my direction that I personally believe are fair. But the one that he does that is very accurate is that I just don't spend enough time with my friends. Like, my attitude has been that the girls are going to grow up, and they have very quickly, and then they're going to be out the door, off to college. They're both going to be in high school next year, which is insane to me. And you know how high school is. You don't want to hang out with your parents, even if they're awesome like me. And so they're gonna have all kinds of things. And I'm hopeful that my friends will still exist when I reach that point where I have less time that's focused on them and more free time to spend with other people. But I used to hold court in my day. Thank you very much. I appreciate that question.
Yeah.
Well, but I got to imagine, because what's going to help Josh in this situation, Jason, is the alcohol of hanging out with people. But you don't drink, right? Like, you don't drink, so it's got to be tougher for you to be around people for 30 hours.
I am. I'll spare you all. No, I'm usually throughout my friendship career, shall we say, I've always been the designated driver. I have a very high tolerance for people that have maybe had a few too many. I've become an expert in holding people's hair for them when they're maybe refunding. So I'm actually a great friend to have.
Okay,
have along,
right. Sounds like it.
When you're having a good time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he's got great stories.
I do
like the
enjoy
paintball
telling
story,
stories.
Jason. That's priceless.
For those that don't listen frequently enough to have heard that, because I have told it a lot. And again, I understand that Brett Favre stories that were being told on Netflix are slightly different than this one. He and the Packers went on a team bonding trip during the offseason program when Mike Sherman was the head coach to a paintball facility up here in Green Bay. And while we were waiting for the field to clear for the team to go out on its excursion, we're all standing around, and Favre's there with his paintball gun, and he's making small talk, and he asks me, hey, Jason, which car is yours? And I had just gotten a brand new Saturn that I was so excited about. It was my first car I ever bought with my own money.
Saturn.
Yeah, indeed. And it's a beautiful early June day, so I got the windows open and the sunroof. And, I'm an idiot, obviously. And I'm like, oh, it's the black Saturn over there. He's like, the one with the sunroof that's open? I said, yep, that's the one right there. Next thing. He's firing his paintball gun, trying to arc, kind of like, much like his accuracy on some of his deep balls, it was luckily inaccurate. But he's trying to arc paintballs into the sunroof of my car. And fortunately, he missed. So, but I still have the paintballs. I picked them up from around the car, and they are in my Lambo office. There were 4 of them. The question I've always had about that shoe is, like, would I have had to take legal action? Because we know he doesn't pay debts.
Well,
when he loses on the golf course, he doesn't pay.
Well, I'm just wondering if he said to you what he said to Mike Sherman when he was screaming at him in the Netflix thing. Did he look at you and say, "What are you going to do?" That would be his attitude.
That's probably what he would have said.
I dented the hell out of your car. Jason, chances of them, or have you heard anything about them trading Romeo Dobbs?
I have not heard that. I know that that's been, and it's hard to tell these days, right? When people just kind of conjure up ideas. We're experiencing that, obviously, with the possibility of Giannis being traded. Like, people just have become like their own trade machines in the media. Again, I don't know what their intent would be there, but if there was a guy, let me put it this way. If there was a guy that I would think that they would be open to offloading it would be him, right? Not because he's not a good player, but because of last year's incident, because he's in the last year of his contract. That feels still to me a little bit like a trade deadline thing, not an off-season thing, right? Where you're like, hey, Golden has emerged. Savion Williams is giving us more than we expected from him as a rookie. Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks have made the jump that they didn't make last year. Then it would make sense. I don't think I would be surprised if they were looking to offload somebody now. I would also be curious what they would get for him, right? I mean, they've said that they don't think the concussion thing is a long-term issue. I just think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that they'll forgive him for not coming to work last year. I don't think they'll forget that, and I think ultimately he's going to be playing for someone else in 2026 anyway. So maybe you can get something for him sooner rather than later, and it'll be better than what you might get as a compensatory pick if he signs a free agent deal.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Jason, where the earliest it seems like that could happen is the end of training camp, right? Because of all the receivers that they have, as excited as we are about Williams and Golden and the first half that Jaden Reed had last year, the second half that Dontavian Wicks had, of all the receivers they have on the roster, the one that you know for who he is right now for sure is Romeo Doubs. Like, he is their most for certain guy right now. So it's kind of the insurance policy. Hey, if these guys don't show that they're growing or they're ready in the case of the rookies, okay, then we need to have Romeo around.
God, that's a great way to describe him, Gabe. Like, he's the one guy that you know what you're getting with him. He is a steady number guy. That's a really good way to view him, because I don't view him as a guy that should be their number one wide receiver. No. Right? Mm-mm. I don't view him as a guy who is a big play guy. Like, I would say that I view him as a consistent, a guy that'll get you, if it's 3rd and 8, he'll get you 9 yards, as opposed to what we used to say about the great Paul Ott-Caruth, who, if you need 2 yards, he'll get you 2 yards. And if you need 4 yards, he'll get you 2 yards. So I think that's one of the best ways I've heard him described. I love it.
Jason, it seems like maybe Aaron Rodgers gave a little bit more insight into the personal situation, potentially. I don't know that he drew a direct line between the two, but that some people in his inner circle are dealing with cancer, revealing on the Joe Rogan podcast. Ian O'Connor, who I believe wrote the book on Aaron Rodgers, believes that he will be at mandatory minicamp for the Steelers on June 10th, which now feels like it's right around the corner. Do you agree?
It is. Yeah, I mean, I will say this, that is what he told me. I told you guys that I traded messages with him, whatever that was, 6 weeks ago. I didn't think he was going to share that, but I guess Joe Rogan just gets things out of people when they're talking to him on his podcast.
Well, it's like the Joshy situation. After 30 hours, you just start saying stuff. After 3 hours with Rogan, you probably just start saying stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll have to get the Spark notes on that, because I am not going to invest 3 hours. So look, I don't know if that's let me put it this way. Having been in that position when Paula was going through breast cancer, I would say that is obviously a very legitimate thing to be worried about, and caring about the people you love and that sort of thing. So I'm not in any way suggesting that's not. At the same time, I didn't stop working, right? I mean, different jobs, to be sure, but I think in some ways, if it's not impossible to be there for those folks that are going through that, and at least give the Steelers an answer and a plan for what they're going to do, what he's going to do with them, right? And maybe he has, and just hasn't said it out loud, like he hadn't said the reasoning behind the personal things that he had been talking about with McAfee. But I don't have any idea what he's going to do. I really don't. So I don't know what Ian's sourcing is on that. I have not exchanged text messages with him in a while. As long as he's there so he can play against the Packers on October 26th, and we can all spend that week gearing up for that. That's all I care about.
Jason, Gabe told me about a list, top 25, under 25, and the Packers didn't have one player on it. Is that not good when you are the youngest team in the league?
Are you serious?
Yeah. PFF.
Oh, this is going to be juicy.
Yeah, PFF did their top 25, under 25, 0 Green Bay Packers.
Their whole roster is on it.
That's what I said. I go, you would think the sheer percentage of qualified players would get them at least a couple.
Yes. Holy moly. That's amazing.
The Lions had 5, Jason, for context. The Lions
Also
had
not
5.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's offensive. Wow. I know this doesn't happen very often on this program, but I'm speechless. If you're, and again, I'm always, it's probably not fair to Pro Football Focus, but every time I talk about them, I say, now their grades are not the end all be all, or they're not the perfect measurement, or whatever caveats I deliver. But still, that's crazy, because your entire program has now become predicated on being forever young, like Rod Stewart once saying, right? They're going to turn over. I'm still convinced that they're going to turn over that offensive line, and just that's always going to be the way with Goody, and it could be that way with wide receivers too. That it's just going to be, all right, we're going to use up rookie contracts, and we're going to have new guys with rookie contracts that are then going to take their place. And so to not have anyone that is viewed that way, and again, they have a much more global view because they pay attention to all 31 teams, all 32 teams, and grade all 32 teams. I don't nearly have the same knowledge base about the other 31 teams, but that feels awfully fair to me. I would argue that Tucker Kraft is he 25 and under? Like, is he 26 now? I guess I don't know his age off the top of my head.
Tucker is 24. So
Okay,
Tucker Kraft is 24. Edgerrin Cooper 23. Potential guys that could have made this list that did not. They didn't have an honorable mention either, Jason. They just cut it off right at 25.
Mm-hmm. I'm always a big fan of honorable mentions. It's an easy way to sneak more names into your list.
But yeah, when you take a look at tight ends, that was one of the 5 that made it for the Detroit Lions. Sam Laporta was number 23.
I also looked at the list and said, oh, these guys are pretty good here, too. There's a lot of really good young talent.
Yeah, because you're going, okay, who shouldn't be on this list? You're kind of going, who?
Yeah.
But that goes back to the conversation we've had on this program many, many, many times, which is you got to have studs.
Mm-hmm.
Where are your studs?
Yeah.
Who's the guy on the Green Bay Packers that you go, ooh, scary? And Xavier McKinney, you can make that. He's obviously over 25. Josh Jacobs, over 25 as well. But if they are priding themselves on being, if it is a point of emphasis to be a young team, some of those guys got to hit, man. So, again, you could sit here and go, well, it's a smattering from all over the league. There's no real overwhelming. Oh, wait, the Lions, 5. Ugh.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, and we're going to talk about that.
And when you say that, Jen, the other good point you just made is that do they have other studs? Do they have other guys that you would argue are legitimate studs?
Yes.
Because who would you say is who else is on that list?
Are we talking about the Packers?
You're
or the
talking
Lions?
other teams.
Yes.
I was talking about the Lions
Yes.
because the Lions have 5 guys on this list, and then they have more studs on top of the people on this list.
Agreed. So who else are the Packers studs? Because when Jen says that, she does mention 2 guys that weren't even on the team a year ago, right? They brought them in free agency. So if your draft and develop and always be young is putting pressure on, hey, I got to hit on these picks because we're always going to be turning guys over. They got a bunch of good players that have not popped to the degree to be considered a stud. Is that fair?
Yes. Very fair.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Enjoy your weekend, and we will talk to you again soon.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
He's Jason Wilde. Wilde and Tausch is on right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. We will take a break. Got Craig Karmazin coming up next. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43 starting to slow down at North Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound still nice and quiet. 41 southbound, though, still a bit heavy from Hampton down past Capitol Drive. Northbound is backing up from Mayfair Road up past North Avenue almost to Burleigh. Traffic is brought to you by Third Ward Beer Garden. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 56 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Steinhaufel's biggest Memorial Day sale ever is happening now. Save 10% off store-wide and get $50 instant cash back for every $499 you spend. Plus, buy a premium mattress and get free premium delivery on everything. And take advantage of Steinhaufel's 60-month 0% financing. Plus, get amazing doorbusters. Steinhaufel's is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader. Shop in-store or online at steinhaufels.com.
It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Gabe, you're right. I actually just looked at the stats. No hypocrite has ever won a championship.
Fridays with Mo.
Mark Attanasio, the last thing he wanted to do was play a video and tribute Craig Counsell in any way. So I give Mark Attanasio a ton of credit.
Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is sponsored by Landworks Landscape Services. Their creative and talented team will design, build, enhance, and maintain beautiful landscapes in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more and see their work at landworkswisconsin.com.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the
All right, let's check in with Craig Karmazin. Good morning, Craig. Where are you today?
I am in West Palm Beach, Florida today.
Oh, lucky. I bet the weather there is lovely.
Chewy's upset.
Yeah. Why?
It's 94.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to finish your sentence.
No, I
Chewy.
just asked why you in West Palm.
It is your buddy Steve's 50th birthday tomorrow.
Steve
and so I
pulled a
timed-
sneer?
Yes, so I timed being here for, I'm currently on a road show of all of GKB. I've been in Beaver Dam, Madison, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and West Palm this week. So I decided to space it out so I could be here today.
Did a show with Homer on Wednesday. He said Giannis is gone. I said, no way. And he wouldn't move.
Yeah. I mean, have we fact-checked Homer over the years? Like, do we have a percentage accuracy of things that Homer says? Like,
He
you say
knows
it
a
as
lot
if
of
there's,
fiction,
like, some...
too.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you look at with Giannis is the same talk that happens every year. Like, how is this year different from any other year, except for the fact that 35% of the salary cap is out with Dame Lillard's injury for a good portion, at least, of next year. So what the Bucks have to do is use this offseason, which I know people weren't excited about the Chris Middleton trade, but what it does now is you're below the second apron, so you have more cap flexibility to put the right team around Giannis, who now you know is going to have the ball in his hands a lot more, like he did in the last 8 games of the regular season that the Bucks won when Dame was out with the blood clot.
How long do you think this goes? Do we get a resolution soon? I know there was the report that they were going to meet at some point this week from Chris Haynes, or is that a meeting that's going to decide things, or is that just the first touch point and then more conversations happen as we continue this offseason?
I mean, I've always said with you guys from the first appearance, we talked about this, my first ever appearance on this show, I just think it's an ongoing discussion, right? Like the Bucks and Giannis and his representatives have incredible relationships, and they talk very consistently. So I don't think there's going to be an end to this ever. Like, I think as long as you have one of the best players in the world, there's always going to be discussions about what Giannis's future is going to be and if he's going to stay with the Bucks and all that. So I don't think it's ever going to end.
Greg, one of the storylines this week we were following was Charles Barkley saying that he believed that John Halliburton should be able to go to the rest of the games, however long the Pacers are in the NBA playoffs. Do you agree that the Pacers should rescind the punishment, which is that he can't be there after he taunted Giannis after that series?
There is no way. Once you realize what Tyrese Halliburton is capable of, and like you saw what happened last game, that comeback in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks after he did the same thing to the Cavs that he did to the Bucks. Like what John Halliburton would have done in Madison Square Garden after game 1, like I fear for what he could have done. Like Tyrese is exciting people to such a degree. I think it's like in John Halliburton's best interest to keep him away. I mean, that would have been too much for any father to handle, much less John Halliburton. I mean, we are witnessing history right now.
Yeah, but it's his dad. I mean, can't you put restrictions on it? Whether he's no lower than the 20th row or in a box. I mean,
he would have, when that ball bounced up in the air, he may have tipped it in. He was so excited. Like that when the ball went straight up in the air after Tyrese's ball hit the back of the rim. I mean, that guy would have been so energized. No, of course he could be at the game, right? Like, he learned his lesson. He's been to a million games. He's a professional guy. Of course he could be at these games.
Yeah, very professional. Very professional. I've been watching NBA games for a long time, Craig. I haven't seen too many fathers wander out onto the floor and not be stopped.
What he did
very professional.
What he did was wrong.
Very professional.
What he did was wrong. What he did was wrong, and it was appropriate to keep him away. I also think it was great that he wasn't there after game 1 because there would have been natural attention on him.
Correct.
And what Tyrese Halliburton deserves all of the attention. So I think for Tyrese, for the Pacers, the best thing is for him not to be there. But if he was there, it'd be fine. There wouldn't be any big deal. But, I mean, Tyrese is putting together for a Wisconsin kid a postseason run unlike anything that anyone's ever done before in terms of the buzzer beaters and last-second heroics. And it's great that the attention can actually be on Tyrese.
Well, that's the thing. The league wants the stories to be about the players and the stars, and they don't want the stories to be about the dad in the stands and whatever he's going to do. which the NBA is also an interesting.
As opposed to the NFL, which is about family. See, Chewy, the NFL is about family, and the NBA is just about stars.
So to compare this, because I always feel this is a conversation when a lot of the big teams, they get knocked out. Like the brand name teams get knocked out in the NBA. And a lot of the discussion is, the league can't be happy. Only the Knicks remain. Why is that the discussion in the NBA when this is supposed to be a star-driven league? And you do have Tyrese Halliburton, who's becoming a huge star. You have the MVP in SGA in Oklahoma City. Anthony Edwards, each and every day, is being talked about potentially being the face of the league. Why are these young teams in smaller markets with big-time stars, why is that a bad thing? Why is that perception bad for the league?
It's a great thing for the league, but, naturally, the biggest ratings come from LeBron James and Steph Curry. So they are the best-known stars. They are legendary players whose peaks of their careers have lasted as long as anyone in the history of the sport. So if you're going to root for the highest audience, you're going to root for either LeBron or Steph Curry. Now, SGA is someone who most people don't know. Like if you're not an NBA fan, because he's only won one postseason round before this year. But the resume he's going to have coming off of this year and the way he plays and who he is as a person, coming into next year, SGA will be one of those stars that people start to think about. The same way Giannis wasn't thought about that way, even after he'd won an MVP. It took him needing to go through that gauntlet, needing to win a championship, needing to win a finals MVP before he was thought about in that way. And I think that's the natural progression we see in the sport.
Well, I hope that it is a point on the trajectory of things changing as far as the perception of the league and who needs to be important and all of that. The other thing that you weigh in is the parity that you see now. The NBA will have a 7th straight different champion in 2025. Obviously, Minnesota and Indiana have never won an NBA title. And I think that adds credence to what Gabe often says on this very program, which is winning a title is hard. For all the people who are frustrated about the Bucks not winning a second title yet with Giannis in a Bucks uniform.
Chewy.
What?
Chewy.
I didn't say
Giannis doesn't have 2 championships, so things aren't good in the world.
Well, Rodgers only has 1. That's the argument. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but
when you talk about Favre and Rodgers, 30-something years, first thing you bring, they only won 1.
I've been around long enough, and I bet if I searched YouTube, I could find it.
Find what?
There was an ad where you were in it, where you're yelling that you would be terrible for 10 years if you got 1 championship.
Was I getting paid?
You're on the radio, right?
That I don't know. It was a TV spot for the all new 540 ESPN.
But Jen, that is oh my God, that is funny.
Yeah, remember that
commercial?
And then Greeny and Golick stole the exact same thing. And you did nothing about it, Craig. You did nothing.
That was a great TV commercial that we did. So, Jen, it's such a good point. And the new collective bargaining agreement, and I mentioned earlier the second apron and the first apron, it really makes it tough to keep a team together with a lot of stars. Like, we're going to see if the Boston Celtics, who just paid $6 billion, are willing to lose over $50 million next year operating their team with an injured Jason Tatum through most of the year, or if Drew Holiday, who we all love, is going to be someone who a bunch of teams are lining up, like the Detroit Pistons, like maybe even the Orlando Magic, teams who want to win and want to learn how to win are going to be lining up because the Boston Celtics will be willing to trade Drew Holiday because of how difficult this second apron is to work out. Like, all of these championship teams, right? Denver wins, and then, key players aren't retained. Like, it's very tough to keep your team together. And when you do it the way the Bucks do and did, it makes it even harder because you have to give up a lot of assets to do it. You're stuck with the salary cap. So I think there's going to be more and more of this parity, Jen, you talk about. The one thing I would say is Oklahoma City is stacked for a long time to come with first-round draft picks. 7 in the next 3 years on top of the roster they have.
Craig, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, wait. Congratulations, Jen. We've talked enough about Jen's Emmy Awards and all of her accomplishments. Congratulations, Jen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Just out of curiosity, how would that come up on the show?
It came up
I would
yesterday.
assume
You
that
told us.
I would assume that that you would bring it up, to want to be praised for all of your good work.
How long have you known Jen?
No, I did not think that, but I think she would have co-hosts and other people who would be praising her. And I would think when each person comes on, they would then give you a congratulations, which I want to make sure to do.
Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
What does it mean to be a local bank at Great Midwest Bank? They are small, but their coworkers understand the local community because they are part of it. Every one of the Great Midwest Bank employees lives here. The customers live just down the street, and they get customized products and services that others cannot offer. So naturally, after almost 90 years, giving back is an obligation that Great Midwest Bank is proud to provide. Great Midwest Bank is simply giving and simply local.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Highlight your long weekend when the Brewers kick off a 3-game series against the Red Sox on Memorial Day, featuring the best way to start summer, Dollar Hot Dog Day. Keep the summer vibes going into the week as kids and seniors can get 50% off select tickets at the game on Wednesday, May 28th. What's better than a long weekend? Brewers baseball and dollar hot dogs. Find your seats today at brewers.com.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let carbless, ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same-old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Picture this. You're staying at a hotel about to take an important video call, but the Wi-Fi is slower than 1997 dial-up. You struggle with your phone's hotspot as clients complain about your connection. These stressful situations don't have to happen. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you get free high-speed Wi-Fi to handle critical emails, join meetings on time, and even unwind with your favorite shows. No more worrying about spotty connections. Enjoy stress-free stays with reliable Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Yes, that would have been much worse than what ended up happening.
Finally got the which would be worse and what would be better. Finally, we figured it out.
You can't just be showing your junk on national TV.
It would have got a lot of clicks.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Eddie won't unload. They don't just see the uniform. They see the people in them. they will service those who serve, our brave first responders. Thank you for your dedication, sacrifice, and for keeping us safe. As always, service members and their families can benefit from the Military Advantage Program with special pricing and incentives at Ewald Automotive. On every vehicle and for every new car sold this month, Ewald will make a donation to local military and first responder charities. Thank you from the Ewald Automotive Group, and it always starts at ewaldauto.com.
I'm a bad boyfriend, I'm a drug addict, you're my favorite poison.
You know, yesterday we put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll. Mike Clay projects Matthew Golden to lead the Packers in targets, receptions, yards, and touchdowns this season. It didn't have a ton of votes at the time, because it was a late vote poll in our show. But now, significantly more, and 60% of people disagree. 60% of people don't think that he is going to lead the team. And Chewy, you were one of them.
Yeah, as a rookie, it's such a crapshoot. Although I think he will contribute those numbers just based on how they do things. They cut up the reps between all of them. I don't think he'll be on the field enough to hit those numbers.
I mean, I still think he's got a really good chance. If Jaden Reed's only going to be on the field in slot situations, I'm expecting Golden to be on the field potentially more than Jaden Reed.
And they're running a lot more two tight end sets this season.
Exactly.
With Musgrave
if they
and
do
Kraft.
that, if that's the way that they go and they continue to run the football the way that they have, I think Golden's got potential to be out there a little bit more.
Also, if Golden is as good as we hope or as is promised based on the draft capital, guess who's going to be lining up in the slot?
Matthew Golden.
Because all the good players in the NFL who proved themselves as needing to be on the field a lot, they play all the positions. We had it right here, Devonta Adams. Not traditionally what you'd view as a slot player, but you can motion him there and get a distinct advantage against the defense. Remember how many times Joe Barry had Preston Smith against, you name the superstar wide receiver in the slot?
No, I don't, because I chose to Men in Black my way through those moments.
Yeah, that's what the Packers
Jen's like,
want to do.
no wonder this guy got fired.
The Packers want to create more of that, mismatches, and that's how you do it, by moving those guys around.
Yeah. I mean, you don't go into the first game of the year and go, I got the playbook down, nailed it. You just don't. That doesn't happen with rookies because there's just too much there. So
then how do you explain?
Then
how do you explain all these guys that have been racking up 1,000-yard season as rookies?
Their teams really suck.
I mean,
no one else to throw to. I mean,
look around.
No, but I mean,
look around.
They're gonna cut up reps between Dobbs, Reed.
Are they?
Wicks.
Are they?
Yeah, they do it every year. That's just how they roll.
Yeah, because they don't have anybody that has the athletic ability to separate and potentially be that guy. Now they do.
I'm just saying, as a rookie, it's rare.
I don't think it's as rare. In the 90s?
Yeah.
Yes. In 2025? No.
Let me ask you this. What were Harrison's numbers from last year with the
not good, but also
Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey all had over 1,000 yards.
Yes.
And who do they play for? Who do they play for? The Giants, who are terrible, no one to throw to.
Also, Marvin Harrison, 62 catches, 885 yards, 8 touchdowns.
He came on towards the end of the season.
Which is not very far off of the projection.
That's not 881. It's not 881.
What do you mean?
It's more?
It's more.
What were the numbers
for Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, but he's talking about projected for Golden.
Yeah, 881. Like
that's
pretty much the year that Marvin Harrison had.
You got to be over. You can't be under.
Under
you
what?
Can't say, I was close.
Reverse Price is Right. Is that what's happening here? We're reverse Price is Right.
But this is all based on taking a bet. You either take the under or the over. I'm saying I'm taking the under, and you're saying, 865. You don't win.
No, he's saying he's one explosive play away from hitting the numbers that they're projecting for Golden.
Number.
For Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes.
62 catches, 885 yards, 8 touchdowns.
885?
All right, so barely. I'm not apologizing.
That's clear.
Like, this would lead the Packers. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm Brad. I did nothing wrong. Sorry.
It's a Friday. He's got to lash out.
It's fine. We need to take a break anyway because I want to get to that
Did you get
article.
hung up on the 62 receptions?
I think he heard 862 because then I heard 862. So the 62, yes, got very much focused on, highlighted.
What was yesterday?
Blammer Thursday.
Oh, and you don't get to see the Blammers much anymore.
Ooh, I'm seeing them Saturday for lunch. Someone doesn't know that yet.
I do now, spies. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Much more to come. Second hour right after this.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94, right about at Mitchell Boulevard. Looks like we got the right shoulder blocked with a broken down vehicle. So that's going to tighten things up. We got delays from before 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43 backing up just a teeny bit right past Fond du Lac Avenue. The northbound side slowing down from Fond du Lac up to Keefe. And 41 southbound slowing from Appleton Avenue all the way down towards Burleigh. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 56 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Breston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We could swear when we were at St. Norberg's, they put saltpeter in our food, and we ran with it. Everyone thought they did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I knew that was
Look
going
it
to be.
Just one little problem.
Sexual?
Yeah. I've never really felt confident in one particular aspect.
Below the equator?
Yeah.
But we can't just leave everyone hanging.
Oh, everyone has computers.
I mean, walking around with one in your pocket, correct? But just
saltpeter doesn't give you the ability to get a Woodrow Wilson.
Nobody does. You know, nobody knows what to do. You just close your eyes, you hope for the best. I really think they're happy if you just make an effort.
So put everything together and you can figure it out. Am I right?
I mean, you just put everything together for everybody.
Yes, but I coded it very well.
You did code it very well. I got a little nervous, not going to lie.
Who's Peter?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
If you missed our conversation with Jason Wilde earlier this morning, then you missed us teeing up this Pro Football Focus list, ranking the top 25 players under 25 entering the 2025 NFL season. Green Bay Packers have prided themselves. It has been a point of emphasis to be a young team. So much so that we joke about how, you're approaching 30, hit the road, Jack, when it comes to Brian Gutekunst and building his roster.
Oh, that was a joke?
Well, it's like we laugh so that we don't cry.
Okay. I thought it was one of those funny because it's true situations.
Yes, that as well. So this list comes out, and Gabe brought it to our attention this morning. And the thing that stood out to Gabe was what, Gabe?
0 Green Bay Packers on the 25 under 25 list.
0. None. Zip, zilch, nada. There are no Green Bay Packers on this list, according to Pro Football Focus, as the top 25 players under the age of 25. And as I said with Jason Wilde, you would think that if it's a point of emphasis to have a roster that is mostly comprised of players who are young, so they're 24, under the age of 25 approximately, you would at least have one stud player in the league who would make the list. They have none. Chewy, is this list an indicator that this plan isn't working?
I don't know if it's the plan. It's just the picks, because like you said, Detroit has 5.
Mm-hmm.
Look at who's eligible, right? Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, Zach Tom. Probably,
don't know
right?
if he's under 25.
Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker.
Zach Tom's 26, so he would be
Okay.
ineligible.
Evan Williams. That's a handful of guys. Deservedly so. None of them deserve to be on that. We just thought, like Quay Walker. I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought he, at this time, would be a stud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't turned out. Van Ness, same thing. Wyatt, same thing. Edrin Cooper. Would you say right now he's, out of those guys I named,
yes,
a young guy with the most potential
yes.
to be a superstar?
Yeah, Cooper, and then I would throw in there Tucker Kraft, who's 24.
Yes.
Like, I think
but
those
when you
two,
look at, Bowers had to be
Bowers
close
was
to
down.
the top.
Yeah, Bowers was, 2 tight ends on the list, Bowers, Laporta, and Bowers was, he was up there.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, Jaden Reed, it says, is 25 years old. Is that correct? Am I reading that correctly, that Jaden Reed is a 25-year-old?
Mhm.
Therefore, he, whether or not you think he should have been on the list, is not eligible.
Compared to the other wide receivers on the list, not even close.
For this list.
Especially when he's 45.
Yeah.
In the NFL. In the NFL on all of them.
Yeah, because if Malik Neighbors is 15th on this list, Jaden Reed's not going to be anywhere near there. And I've got even worse news because I did not see this yesterday. But they did do a top 25 under 25, 10 players who were just outside the rankings.
One?
No.
Not even one?
Not even
None. Whoa. Where was that list? Was that like an addendum?
Yeah, it was just a separate article that they had on PFF.
So, 2 things can be concerning. One, that the Packers are placing emphasis on this, and then, according to Pro Football Focus's metrics, not having any guy who is popping enough, being productive enough to make their top 25 list. And also, what Chewy mentioned just a moment ago, the Detroit Lions seem to be doing this plan better. They seem to be doing what the Packers want to do better. That's a division team. That's a team that you are going to be battling for the North with. I got to be honest, and again, Pro Football Focus isn't the end-all, be-all, but it is not the best news that I've seen this week, Gabe. This does not make me excited about not just this season, but the future.
Yeah, it's great that they got the guys they did last year. And we bring up as those are the 2 studs, right? And Xavier McKinney ended up making his first All-Pro team last year. Fantastic. Being a Pro Bowl running back last year for Josh Jacobs because other running backs popped off, but he's one of the top 5 running backs in the league heading into this year. That's great. You had to go outside the organization to get those guys. In order for this plan to work, you need to have guys growing and being on lists like this. And maybe Edrin Cooper is on this list next year. Maybe that's possible. But their entire plan operates on guys growing into stars and growing into studs. And it kind of goes back to the conversation we had about with Jason, going back to that 2022 draft class. Man, they got like 7 or 8 starters on this list. Well, who's actually going to be around going forward?
Can you pull up that list again? Because I thought that was so illustrative. I thought it was so educational. The 2022 draft class. And when we start projecting out and seeing which of those guys are going to be long-term contributors to the Green Bay Packers, it's not good. Go ahead and rattle down the list and then tell what you think the future is for each of those guys.
Quay Walker. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I assume the way that they talked, they were going to get some sort of long-term extension done, but obviously that hasn't happened yet. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option, so his future is in question. Devontae Wyatt picked up the 5th-year option. Not quite sure about anything beyond that. Christian Watson, all depends upon how the injury plays out. Sean Ryan, seemingly going to be gone. Romeo Doubs, seemingly going to be gone. I thought they'd lock up Zach Tom.
Now he's got to compete.
Now he's got to compete. And then you have Rasheed Walker as a starter in there as well, and Kingsley Enagbare is a contributor off of that draft class as well.
So, Chew, the tricky part is that the Packers have been successful, right? They're a double-digit win team. They are a playoff team. It seems like they can still be taking steps. But if the plan is to invest a lot of your draft capital in these, well, obviously in young players, but to make sure that the roster is primarily these young guys, because they must have some metrics. They must have some information. They must have some analytics that are showing that guys are more productive from the time they get in the league until 30, and then the drop-off is too significant to continue being invested in them. They must have that, because they can't just do this arbitrarily. Is this an indication that they need to pivot? Is this an indication, Chew, that they need to be more active in free agency, which they were on some level this year, right? They supplemented their roster going out in free agency, getting a couple of guys, Nate Hobbs and the offensive line,
Aaron
Brooks. Thank you, Banks. Do they need to be doing that more often?
Probably, because are we agreeing that there's two studs on this team, and that is
McKinney and Jacobs?
Is that it?
I'd argue for Zach Tom. He was finished third in all-pro voting at right tackle last year, but I still can't wrap my head around the competition
Jordan
thing.
Love, right? What are you, the second highest payer in the league now?
Well, did Brock Purdy go up and over or no?
Brock Purdy stayed below, so there's a handful of guys at 55 that he is a part of. So he's T2.
You got to be a Pro Bowl player.
Yeah.
You have to be a Pro Bowl player, you know? And there's a lot of guys that, I don't know if they plateaued. And this year's going to tell you if they did. Reed, Dobbs, who you said's gone, Tucker Kraft. Yeah, you need to, Laporta and these guys are catching, even though he had a great year, you got to take it to the next step. You got to catch 75 balls because that's what tight ends do now. If you want to be elite from the tight end position, I would say the number now is in the 70s as far as receiving. Zach Tom, like you said, he might not be here.
Something's
weird
there.
I just don't think they want to pay him Penny Sewell money.
That could be it. I mean, honestly, true, that could be it, where they're looking around going, hey, if we want to invest in other spots, we just have to continuously turn this roster over. Maybe we do that continuously at the offensive line.
But Jen, the fact that you said, do they need to bring in more free agents? That tells you you're a bad drafter.
Well, to be honest with you, Chew, that's sort of the conclusion that I am leading us to, right? We have joked for years about they need to draft wide receiver, and they have avoided it until this season. Now they have. But we looked around the league several weeks ago, and we went, man, duo on all of these playoff teams. And we were going, who do the Packers have? Nobody. So that was like one ding, right? If you're grading, that's a ding. Now we're looking at this list. This feels like a ding on the draftability. Because you draft all of these young players, you're a draft and develop team. Where's the development? Where are these guys making a significant mark on the roster, on production? And then we talk about this 2022 draft class, which I think, Gabe, is one of the most fascinating and interesting things that you have presented to us, which is where's the long-term production from these guys? So I guess I'm going to say the thing out loud. Is this organization just bad at drafting?
Well, because all the guys in the 2022 draft class, they're solid players. It's not like they're going to be disappearing from the league. And someone's going to eventually pay them.
Look, you need solid players on a roster, right? Not everybody is going to be a superstar. Not everybody's going to be a generational talent.
It's one of two things. One of two. You're either bad at drafting or you're bad at developing. Right? Where are the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks that are making Pro Bowls?
I think we could be even more specific. Look at the list. Look at the names on the list. The top 25 under 25. Virtually all, save for Puka Nacua and a couple others, drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. Where has Goody struggled the most year after year after year that has caused this team to be deficient at superstars?
Yeah.
It's the high draft capital guys not panning out to what they would be. Lucas Van Ness should be on this list. 13th overall NFL draft pick.
Yes.
He's not sniffing it. He's sniffing the bottom 25 under 25 right now. And if you look at the list, it is all guys that have high draft capital, save for a few guys who outperformed greatly what was expected of them. It's really that simple. You haven't converted your premium picks into premium players.
I would agree. I'd agree.
Yeah.
Because you would expect, I mean, you're going to miss, right? Miss and stuff, but what's the benchmark? Pro Bowls? They don't have a lot of Pro Bowl players.
No.
I'm talking real. I'm not talking, you know. They just don't.
Yeah, because those top two for those first and second round picks.
Yeah. And the gut punch is what Gabe said. It's like Detroit has 5. 25 under 25. And then on top of that, they have studs.
Yeah. This list doesn't include Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Or, Hutchinson's probably.
No.
He's not on there
No, because he's over 25.
Yeah. That's the diff. So.
But to your point, Joshy, like there are guys on this list who I don't know if you outperform. Lad McConkey was drafted 34th overall, so he's outside the first round, but he is 19th on this list.
Yep.
You mentioned Puka Nacua. Like it's okay for guys to pop. It's okay for guys to be drafted lower and then exceed expectations. And they haven't even really gotten that from many of these guys.
No, and then it's like Jordan Morgan. What do you think of him? No idea.
To be determined?
I have
it's still
no
to
idea.
be determined. Like
no, but you talk about, and I'm going back to rookies, busting out and having these amazing years.
Yeah.
Look at two of the first 3 picks last year. You had the running back, who I can't think of, that didn't play a down.
6 downs, Marshawn Lloyd.
Sorry. Okay. You over, would you have 8?
It's just being specific.
You know what I mean?
I was making your point, you bozo.
These guys nitpick
He was
when
on
it
your
benefits
side.
them.
He was on
sorry.
your side.
Now I'll apologize.
He just wanted to get the factual information out there, but he was on your side, still illustrating your point.
Struggling a little bit here today. Right?
Obviously, hold up that water jug. Somehow you have downed all 100 ounces,
and I don't
already
have to take a leak.
Your body's just absorbing it.
How much did you drink with the Blammer last night?
It was not a lot.
I'm sure.
For a big guy.
Ian weighing in on our carbless talk and text line. It feels like Goody drafts for singles and grounds out half the time instead of swinging for a home run. It has been such a long time since he's even sniffed a triple. Using that baseball analogy, he's saying that he's just not hitting home runs. And in the first round, we have talked about this. We expect there to be some misses later in the draft. You're not going to nail every single one of them. But in the first round, we have lamented just go for the bona fide superstar, the bona fide game changer, the bona fide playmaker, the person that is going to produce produce for a while.
I love the pick of Golden.
So this year, yes.
Yes. Didn't love the pick of Jordan Morgan.
Is that about it being an offensive lineman versus a skill position?
Just watching him, I just think he's going to be a guy. I know it's early, like you said.
Yeah.
I know it's early.
I mean,
but...
I'm willing. I mean, I'm not going to throw any grades on anybody from last year quite yet. But because you did have Edgerrin Cooper, Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, again, guys that you think have this potential, but we've played this game how many times?
Yes.
And then guys plateau. We played this game with the wide receivers last year.
But those
and
guys miss games too, Gabe.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the only thing I'm saying about Golden. He's only going to play 14 games. That's it, because that's what rookies do. They don't know how to play hurt. No. What's the bad one? Injured is bad? Is injured worse than hurt?
Hurt. You're the one who says this. Hurt is...
They don't know how to play hurt.
This is your theory.
Yes. Injured is when injured is legit. Injured is like you're injured. Hurt is everybody's hurt.
Would have been better if I didn't come in today.
It's always better if you're here.
Better for who?
For him.
And I ain't going to lie. Thought about it.
Texting. What?
When don't you think about it? Let's be
Would have
honest.
you just texted the word pizza? Is that all you would have texted us this morning?
I just said Blammer.
And everybody, okay.
Yeah.
Chewy's not coming in today.
Yeah.
We got some reaction rolling in on the YouTube stream as well. David doesn't think we should base everything on PFF rankings. I believe we established that early in the show, saying it's not the end-all, be-all. It is just one ranking, one metric. But I do think there is value in what they are presenting here.
But if you go through the list, and we're not going to sit here and read all 25, but when you scroll through the list, you're going, oh, yeah, these guys are all really good.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's in... I don't know who you do trust, because PFF tries to make it more, hey, this is the grading system we have. If I'm trying to think of somebody from ESPN.com, if Matt Bowen put out his top 25 under 25, like obviously there's subjectivity to that one too. Like there's not going to be a perfect list.
Yeah.
But
all you want to see is growth every year. Like I look at my career, my rookie year, I was a joke. I couldn't have played, maybe special teams. And then my second year, little better, got a little time as third, and then my third year, better, and then my fourth year, that's what they want to see. They don't want to see up. Down, up, flat.
I would just push anybody's, it's PFF. Okay, then who should be on this list? Tell me what Packers should be on this list. And that's the tough part because these guys are studs. I'm going to list them off. You know all 25 names. And again, there are some. Penei Sewell's number one. He's an offensive lineman. He's so good that people know his name as an offensive lineman.
Like coaches, all they want to see is a clean peak. That's it. A clean peak. It wants to see it go up. You hit the top, and then you come down. They don't want to see up, flat, down a little bit, up, flat, down, You just, that's why, dude, Jaden Reed, you gotta be better than
We're
last year.
Gonna put it on the Infinity Exteriors Twitter poll. Does this concern you? Pro Football Focus has ranked the top 25 players under 25. The Packers, a notoriously young team, 2 years in a row, youngest in the league. Nobody. They don't have a single player on this list. How concerning is that for you, Packers fans? We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Be back right after this.
It doesn't matter what age you are. Low testosterone can be an issue with any guy. That's where Mentality comes in. Local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. Okay, so what does that mean? Feel and perform at their very best. Well, what that means is you should be feeling like you did a couple of years ago. If you're tired, groggy, just don't feel like yourself. Those are all signs of low testosterone. That's what I was dealing with. Turns out my testosterone levels are low, but now I feel great. Thank you to Mentality. I have a customized testosterone treatment plan just for me. I check in with them every 12 or 13 weeks and make sure that those levels are where they're, and if they're not, they'll make little tweaks. It's a customized treatment plan for you that is going to help. There's no better, safe, and insured medical solution available. So go to lowtusa.com. Mentality allows treatment to fit into every guy's lifestyle. Learn more about Mentality and their low testosterone treatments at lowtusa.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound 43 is a little bit backed up from just before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound's nice and clear. Westbound 94, we got some delays from 35th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound on 41, backing up right before Mayfair Road, stretching all the way up towards Capitol Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast, today partly cloudy with a high of 56 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight partly cloudy, a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Get your golf fix every Tuesday night at 6 with On the Tee.
Spieth is probably going to, embarrass me at some point. The hell do you know? Shut up and carry the bag.
Join Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson as they dissect all things pro golf and tell the tales of their own golfing journeys in Wisconsin.
I think it's golf in its purest form, and I think it should bookend the golf season.
Go On the Tee with Gabe and Stephen, sponsored by Majestic Oaks at Lake Lawn Resort and Gruber Law Offices. Tuesday nights at 6 on 94.5 ESPN and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, I'm Mike with Infinity Exteriors. Over 25,000 homes across Wisconsin were hit hard by this most recent storm. And like clockwork, out-of-town roofers are already flooding in and then disappearing the moment the job's done. Choose local. We live here, we work here, and we stand behind every roof we install. Since 1997, Infinity Exteriors has helped more than 30,000 homeowners protect their homes and their peace of mind with no hidden costs, no fine print, and no confusion. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people, their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm right-handed, but like
I'm with Gabe here. Yeah, I feel more confident in my left hand here, just cupping right now, other than my other hand cupping.
Mostly because I also.
I get a lot more work out of the right hand.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You guys know who we call when we need help with our home improvement situations. It's our friends over at PCI, Professional Construction, Inc. Dario and I can handle a few things here and there. Big things, no way. That's why when we remodeled our basement, we called PCI, and they gave us the space we had always dreamed of. It's got the couch, it's got the TV, it's got all the things that the kids can use when we just need them to go hang out somewhere else. And PCI has been in business for more than 20 years. They believe in building relationships and doing exceptional work on your projects. Learn more about PCI and see their work at professionalconstructioninc.com. That's professionalconstructioninc.com. What are you guys chuckling about?
Out of water.
You started doing your read, and Chewy is thinking in his head, "Oh, I've got time to take a drink of water." Reaches for his water, but it's empty. It's just completely empty.
Why don't you go fill it out in the hallway?
That thing's not fitting in the.
That's gross water.
What do you mean it's gross water? I'm drinking it right now.
Well, but he
I
can't.
thought you meant from the tap.
Yeah, he can't fit that giant jug underneath
No.
the spout of the filtered water thing.
All right, problem solvers, fill up a little cup and pour it in. Fill up a little cup and pour it in.
Can I fit my head in there?
Seems like a lot of work. Yeah, you could do that. I'll hold the button for you.
Are you struggling that much?
No, I'm
I was
fine.
going to say, you seem to be doing just fine.
I'm good.
Are we interested at all in seeing the actual draft capital in these top 25 players? Because I put together all 25 with the pick they were taken at.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do the names, but you can follow along on the list. I do have the ones that are sort of out of the ordinary
Well, we should say for the loyal listeners who they. So, Gabe, why don't you say who they are, and then Josh, you give the information.
All right, number 1, Penei Sewell.
7th.
Number 2, Puka Nacua.
177.
3, Kyle Hamilton.
14.
Jaden Daniels, 4.
What's that?
Jaden Daniels is number 2.
Yeah.
Trent McDuffie.
21.
Jared Verse.
13.
Will Anderson Jr.
19, sorry. 3rd.
Brian Branch.
45th.
Bijan Robinson.
8th.
Jameer Gibbs.
12th.
Drake London.
8th.
CJ Stroud.
2nd.
Derek Stingley Jr.
3rd.
Brock Bowers.
13th.
Malik Neighbors.
6th.
Devon Witherspoon.
5th.
Jalen Carter.
9th.
Christian Benford.
185.
Okay. Lad McConkey.
34th.
Brian Thomas Jr.
23.
Devon Achan.
84th.
Tyler Smith.
24.
Sam Laporta.
34.
Cooper DeJean.
40th.
And Kirby Joseph.
97th. The interesting thing to me is a lot of these players the Packers didn't even have a chance.
Well, the interesting thing is they had an opportunity to take these players, and they didn't.
There was 4 total players they had. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 total that they could have. It seems like they could have.
Are you saying taken with their first pick, or are you saying taken in general? Because you mentioned a few guys who were drafted really late. And again,
like Puka.
And a couple of the other guys late on the list as well. I mean, again, Cooper DeJean, I always feel like gets brought up. But did they ever really have a shot at taking Cooper DeJean? I think
if they wanted to take him in the first round.
If they would have had to take him in the first round because he was taken just before their second round,
But I
right?
think they still had the opportunity to trade up. I mean,
Yeah, you could have
we all
potentially
thought they
traded
would do
up.
it.
Yeah, you could have traded up, or you could have just taken him in the first round.
I think that stings because everyone wanted him. In Green Bay, I mean.
Yeah, Packers fans, yeah.
Yeah,
Wanted Cooper to
Packers
Gene.
fans.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you say A-Chain went?
He was 85th? 84th overall. I mean, he's very small. He's a very specific guy. He's been great. He's
And to be honest, he'd be a compliment to Josh Jacobs as opposed to the horse. Yeah, I mean, so on this list, Josh, you think there's only a handful of guys that they had a legitimate shot at taking?
Correct. Save for a few on this list, the Packers didn't have the opportunity to even draft them. They were well ahead of that. I mean, many of these people are in the top 10 to 12. The Packers aren't typically picking there. The thing is, when they had the opportunity to, with 13th overall, they swung, and as far as we know at this point, they missed horribly.
Well, they
didn't even fall Tippett.
Yeah, the guys inside the top 20 that Goody's been able to draft, Jair, Rashawn Gary, and Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah.
Those are the guys inside the top 20 when Goody is picked. Jair was a hit.
I would say one of three. So for our baseball analogy, you're doing great. Hall of Fame, maybe.
Yeah. And look, again, you're not even going to hit on all of your first rounders. There are busts that exist in the first round every year. And that's, to Josh's point earlier, and I think that what this illustrates is so many of these guys have been high draft picks. And plenty of them are still in the back half of the first round as well, where the Packers could potentially be picking. They haven't hit on the studs in those first handful of picks. They've had some decent players, okay players, but the first and second round typically is where the studs live in the NFL, and they haven't found any.
You'd be thrilled if Quay was a third-round pick.
Yes.
Perfectly fine for what he was drafted at. The fact he was the first pick of that draft for the Packers makes you look at it and go, well, this isn't nearly enough.
Yeah, I mean, the best chance they have right now of a first-round stud on their roster is Jordan Love. It's the best chance that they have, I think, going into 25. Of somebody developing into that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because I think we kind of know what Lucas Van Ness is.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're going to stick it out. We're going to have to watch him, but
we'll know by the end of this year, for certain.
Eric Stokes already gone. Rashawn Gary, kind of know what he is. Jair Alexander, who the hell knows?
Let me ask you this, because David weighs in on the YouTube stream. Remember, you can always stream the show on YouTube and weigh in the comments. People act like this team was 5-11, not 11-5. They were in every game with a chance to win. I guess I'm more optimistic than most. We did address that. I did say this is a team that gets double-digit wins most years. They are a playoff team most years. This might be nitpicking. But the fact of the matter is the Packers have chosen to prioritize the youth. That wasn't something that we sat there and went, you need to get younger. This team needs to be younger. These old guys are really holding you back, keeping you down. Goody has an emphasis there. So we just find it interesting that when a site like Pro Football Focus compiles a list of 25 players under 25, that the Packers, who have placed an emphasis on it, maybe even above most other teams, aren't on the list. Like that, I think it's, again, Gabe brought it up to us. We were like, whoa. You heard Jason Wilde earlier this morning. If you missed it, you can still find it on our ESPN Wisconsin app. He said, really? Is that true? Like, this is, again, it's not the end-all, be-all. It doesn't predict the Packers are not going to have success. It is just interesting that if you're placing emphasis on this, how are you not on a list that is highlighting these players?
You know what the difference is in those tight games? Big-time players to make plays when you need them the most. That's the difference a lot of times in the NFL. And yeah, the Packers won 11 games last year, but they went 1-5 in the division. And the schedule's tougher this year. I know, third place schedule. Now you're playing the AFC North. You're playing the NFC East. You're playing divisions that are tougher. And if they go 1-5 in the division again, they ain't making the playoffs this time around.
No.
Because they don't have the AFC South to make up for it and go 4-0 against those teams and then bring the record back up. You have to be better against the teams in your division, including the Lions, who have 5 players on this list. And yeah, maybe some guys grow, and that's what you're hoping for. But as currently constructed, if nobody grows, yeah, you might be the 6 or 7 seed again, but you're not going to be a serious Super Bowl contender.
The problem is the offense is good enough to win, but the defense is not. But the offense is not good enough to score a lot of points if the defense sucks like it does. And I wouldn't say sucks. They're just like you said.
No,
what are you expecting from the DNs this year? For the pass rush.
Then let's not forget, hoping and praying for 9 sacks.
The corners, let's say Jair is gone. when they come out before the season and say, all right, let's rank every team's defensive backfield, or just the corners, they're going to be in the 20s.
Well, again, the help would be if it's the defensive backfield and Xavier McKinney is in there to raise everybody else's
But the
value.
corners, they're
Middle
guys.
of the pack, yeah. Middle
They're
of the
guys.
pack.
The D-line, 28th, 25th. Can't. Aaron Rodgers in his heyday with all those receivers, yes, could definitely win a Super Bowl with this defense. The problem is the offense isn't good enough, and it's not at that level where Aaron was at where he could do it.
Yeah, they're good enough to win just enough games, but not good enough to seriously
Correct.
compete.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless players grow.
Correct.
Well,
you got to be really good.
Who grew? Who do you think grew last year? Like, if part of this idea of, okay, they're young, they're developing, who really took that step forward for this team last year?
That took a step forward?
Took a step forward.
Quay, Devontae, Wyatt took a step just because you couldn't go any farther down.
Mm-hmm. Like Edgerrin Cooper, as good as Coop was in those handful of games last year, he needs to take the consistent step.
Yeah.
He made a lot of splash plays, but needs to be more available to this team, and he knows that, but he's got to take that step forward.
Yes.
Nobody from the receiver class really stepped forward. Offensive line, we all thought Zach Tom. Obviously, the Packers didn't think he took a step forward. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in competition for his spot.
So the problem is we don't want to go. Well, the problem is we want to go 11 and 11-7, 11-6. Sure, that's great. But when you lose in the first round of the playoffs, who gives a rip? Right? Who gives a rip? That's how we should measure ourselves like that. You know?
Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is known for its endless ways to win, and Friday, June 27th, Potawatomi is showing why that is the standard with the highly anticipated season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty roll into drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Be there to win your share. June 27th, only at Potawatomi. More info is available online. You must be 21 years old to play.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound on 43, backing up from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Keefe. Southbound's nice and quiet. We got westbound and eastbound 94 easing up nicely. We do have a little bit of a backup northbound 41 from just before Mayfair Road up to Burleigh, and then again right past Capitol Drive. Southbound slowing down a little bit on 41 as well, right past Capitol as well. Escape to the Knickerbocker on the lake. Enjoy stunning lake views, luxurious rooms, and exceptional dining. Experience timeless charm and modern luxury in the heart of Milwaukee. Book your stay at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy skies, a high of 56 at the lake, 61 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 42 at the lake, 37 inland. Weather's brought to you by Infinity Exteriors. When storms hit, out-of-town roofers come and go. Infinity Exteriors has been local and trusted since 1997, and they stand behind every job. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Is your business ready to take the next step? At Fifth Third Commercial Bank Wisconsin, our team of local experienced advisors is here to propel you forward. We understand your needs and offer in-depth expertise, cutting-edge technology, and tailored solutions to streamline your cash collections, automate payments, and safeguard your assets with top-notch fraud mitigation tools. Contact Fifth Third in downtown Milwaukee today. Let's eliminate the non-value ad work so you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Evan Cohen here. When the draft clock is ticking, you've got to pick the best talent, regardless of position, to fit your team's needs. Well, if you're hiring for your business, you want to find the best talent for any of your roles. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology hustles to find qualified candidates for your job immediately. And if you see a standout candidate, ZipRecruiter lets you personally invite them to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
All power, zero compromise. Eagle cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit EgoPowerPlus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's EgoPowerPlus.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Thanks, Ernie. I'm going to Venmo you that money right after the show.
You can't. You don't know how to use Venmo.
Made my workload much less. But Ernie,
you don't know how to
Ernie,
do it, and I don't know
does
how to
it ever?
it. So
yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Are you looking for a new home? Sometimes it feels stressful and time-consuming and expensive, but really, guys, this should be an exciting chapter in your life. And the We Sell group at Keller Williams knows this. Their passion is people. And guys, they have been so helpful in our search for a lake home that I cannot endorse them highly enough. Because look, there's a lot of lake houses out there, but it is a long process. And sometimes we find something and think this is going to be great, and then it ends up not being so great. But the good news is they are giving us all of the options so that we are making the very best decision for our family. That's Nick and that's Rob, who help every step of the way. The We Sell Group's selling process makes sure that the best and most competitive offers are made on your home if you're the seller. So get started on your stress-free journey today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com. The other development yesterday in the world of college football was that they have decided, in fact, to go forward with this proposal to go with the rankings. That teams will not be reseeded based on who wins their conferences, but that the final rankings will be how they are seeded for the college football playoff. I got to be honest, guys, this felt like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This felt like something that, I was surprised that they did it the way that they did it. But, it's the first year of the expanded playoff last year, and so they want to see how it shakes out. And you've got Arizona State, and you've got Boise State, and people were obviously pretty disappointed that they were a top seed because they won their conference and then got the bye.
Well, it's just there's a huge gap, and obviously at the top, it's Big Ten and SEC. And then there's a gap, and then you go ACC and what's the Big 12?
Yeah.
There's a drop-off. There's a huge drop-off. And there are teams last year in the Big Ten and the SEC that were markedly better than the two teams that won their conference championship, I think. I think this is the right way to do it.
It's the Big Ten and SEC kind of flexing their muscles.
Yes.
And telling everybody else, hey, get in line. We're the ones that drive all the revenue here. Get in line. Because guess what? I will not be surprised if at some point this offseason we find out in 2026 that they're going to 16 teams and the Big Ten and SEC are getting 4 teams guaranteed each.
Whoa. How would you justify that?
What do you mean?
How would you justify saying you automatically get 4 teams in the playoff field? It's not like any other league, professional or otherwise, says your conference is significantly better than the other conference, therefore you deserve more spots in a playoff.
Yeah, because the Big Ten and SEC are throwing their weight around. They make the most money, they drive the most money, and if you don't fall in line, fine, we'll break off. We'll go do our own thing, and you guys can have the JV college football. Yeah, they could. Absolutely, they could.
Who's stopping them?
Yeah. This is already like the college football playoff is already not like an NCAA championship the way that March Madness is.
Yeah.
Like it's its own thing. It's its own identity that was created by these teams. And Big Ten SEC can just go, yeah, go ahead, have the JV championship. We're going to have the real championship over here. And guess what? Ours is going to be watched more because people tune in and week out to watch the SEC and the Big Ten. So they're going to flex their muscles and say, hey, we're going to go to 16.
I think
nobody
that's
gets a bye. We're getting 4 each. And then, if Notre Dame gets in,
you guys figure it out.
Yeah, you guys figure out how you want to divvy up the rest, but there's still some
listen,
chances
I
for
just
us to
don't
get
like.
on the back
Listen,
end.
that very well may be true, but I don't like the optics of it. Just if your teams are better, you'll end up in those spots. You don't need to guarantee spots for these people. What is it, like reserving the front row at the church for your family? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
we paid the most money.
If you're the best conference, you're gonna have the teams. I don't think. Listen, I don't know. I'm not talking to anybody who's in these meetings. I'm just saying from an optics standpoint, guys, it's a bad look. If you're the best, you don't need to reserve spots for yourself.
Is there a sport or a league that gave up optics longer ago than college football? In terms of trying to keep the optics thing going, it feels like they've abandoned those a long time ago.
Should they get rid of the conference games?
What do you mean?
Just get rid of them.
The
Conference title games,
championship?
championship games.
So what would potentially happen here if they go to 16 teams and you've got the 4 guaranteed spots? A proposal that I saw would potentially be, so Big Ten and SEC championship game still happens. Those 2 teams have 2 of the guaranteed spots. And then for the other 2 spots, you have 2 other games featuring teams in the conference. So it's like a conference championship weekend where the SEC would have 3 games going on. Okay, the 2 teams in the championship are automatically there, and then 2 other games where the winners get those automatic berths.
How many games would those kids then be playing?
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
it's getting up to the professional level.
But no, they're going to. I was reading that the next step in this whole process is that they are going to limit the regular season to 9 games across the board. So you play 9 regular season, because I guess that's a point of contention between the SEC and the Big Ten now, that they don't play the same number of regular season games. Conference games.
Conference games, because those non-conference games are still
right. That's the thing. They were the cupcake ones, and then you're winning easy against these teams that you're paying.
Ohio State, Wisconsin conference championship.
Yeah.
Does Ohio State, if they're undefeated or number one, do you really want to play? Do you really want to play?
No, but you got to play for the money.
I wouldn't want to play.
Yeah.
I'm like, who cares? It's like the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Cares about the conference championship? Who cares? When you're a national, when you have the potential to win a national championship, I wouldn't want to play. I think if you're going to go to 16 teams, can the games?
Guess what's never going to happen?
Well, then
there's just too much money, Chew. There's too much money in those games.
But if I'm someone at Ohio State
where's Dr. Pepper going to do their
$90
toss?
NIL and I'm a starter? I mean, I don't want to play 16 games in a college schedule without being compensated.
Well, guess what? Probably going to start getting compensated.
Well, if they get compensated, that's okay.
And that's the last word on that. This is an ad by BetterHelp. For Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report. And what they found was interesting. While 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are in therapy. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts their families, their workplaces, their entire communities. That's why BetterHelp is trying to help here. With over 35,000 therapists, that's right, 35,000. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. They've served more than 5 million people globally. What is it? You sign up. You do it online. It's convenient. You can do it with the click of a button from the privacy of your home. It'll fit therapy into your busy life. And if you don't like the therapy that you've been assigned, it's not working for you, maybe you're not feeling like they are offering the help that you need, you can switch therapists at any time. This is something we need to focus on, guys. We are all better with help. So visit betterhelp.com/timeout right now to get 10% off your first month. Have you been thinking about this? Has this been sort of marinating in your brain? I should really get help for these things that I've been dealing with. Now is the time to take action. BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. BetterHelp, because we are all better with help.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Landworks handles projects of all sizes. From a cozy pocket patio lush with greenery to a grand outdoor hosting space and everything in between. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all of your landscaping needs. The Landworks team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's your pal Donald Driver here. For 10 years, I've been working with the Wisconsin DOT to get everyone to wear their seatbelt. And it's working. Nearly 90% of Wisconsin drivers buckle up, which makes me want to say to the ones who don't, come on, man. If you don't wear your seatbelt, you're going nowhere fast. Buckle up. If you don't, it can cost you money or a lot worse. Click it or ticket, and let's work together to save lives. Take my driving safety quiz at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
Smalls here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If it's gotten to the
I
point,
don't think shower.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to take a shower? You just told me you're offended by your own BO.
No, but I think it's deodorant, Gabe. Showering does nothing. It really doesn't.
You are wrong.
Because
you must be showering wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Is your business ready to take the next step? At Fifth Third Commercial Bank, Wisconsin, our team of local experienced advisors is here to propel you forward. We understand your need and offer in-depth expertise, cutting-edge technology, and tailored solutions to streamline your cash collections, automate payments, and safeguard your assets with top-notch fraud mitigation tools. Contact Fifth Third in downtown Milwaukee today. Let's eliminate the non-value ad work so you can focus on what truly matters most. Growing your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
We put one thing on the Infinity Exteriors poll today. Are you concerned the Green Bay Packers had 0 players make the top 25 under 25 list with such a focus on youth in Green Bay? 50-50. 50-50 early returns. 50% of people are concerned about that. 50% of people are not concerned about that. Comments ranging on the YouTube stream and on the Carbless Talk and text line as well. Some people say this is much ado about nothing, and some people saying no, it is an indication that the plan is not working so far. Maybe it'll work. Maybe next year they'll have 5 players on the list because everybody takes a step. But right now, doesn't seem to be working the way that they hoped it would. Have a great weekend, everybody. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee.